Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video, and this time we are going to be doing a kind of deck profile for Qliphorts. Now, the only problem with my Qliphort deck is that I am not incredibly rich. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what we do have. Keep in mind there will be proxies in this video, so just as a preliminary warning, if you are terrified of proxies, please stop the video now and back away. And honestly, there is no problem with liking proxies. So we play 3 Qliphort Scouts, and here is the very first proxy, because the third one is still in the way. Managed to get the first 2. But, you know, Scout makes complete sense. It's your searcher, there's no point in replacing it with anything. It's brilliant. We play 3 copies of Carrier because monster removal is absolutely key. It's a normal summon that's decent, it's a 1, it's good, it's just good at everything. 2 copies of Helix. Spell and trap removal is pretty important. I wouldn't play a third though because it's a 9, it's a scale 9, and I don't really like 9s. I try to avoid them as much as possible, but we've got the 2 in here because it's good tribute fodder. Then, of course, we play the last 9 is the Qliphort Shell. Shell is just really good for OTK. You just push, double damage, especially with limit removal. When you can attack twice for 56 and piercing, you have to play it. Then we have 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon for searching your scouts, searching your trampolinks. Just all in all, it's a good card. Then the 1 trampolinks, we are only playing 1 now because 2 was interesting. The thing about trampolinks is that it makes your bad hands, it doesn't do anything for your bad hands. If you don't get a decent set, then you have a dead card in hand with trampolinks. So it's only really useful for good situations where you got your scouts. Otherwise, it's not really that useful. And then we play 1 Qliphort Towers, because you have to be able to deal with Burning Abyss. They are one of the most common matchups nowadays, and they're one of the toughest, and they have a real problem with towers. So you kind of have to play the 1 towers now. As you can see, there is no disc. That is a sad misfortune of my not willing to spend £35 on a single Yu-Gi-Oh card at a time. Especially when you would technically need to. So what will happen is we'll wait until Secrets of Eternity comes out, see if the price drops, and if it does, then we'll be able to add in all the extra stuff. But then we'll also have Access and Assembler, which I think are absolutely brilliant, and are going to obviously make a major change to the deck. So that is it for the monster lineup. Then we'll get into spells. Obviously we play 3 copies of MST, you have to play 3 now. You have to play 2. The third is optional, and I like having 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon in any deck. 3 copies of anything in a deck is something that I love. And these 3 Upstart Goblins are stand-ins for your Summoner's Art, which is still very expensive, but you know, Summoner's Art itself is good, so you can always just go for that. If you can. Upstart Goblin is still pretty decent. The only problem is giving away life points to opposing Qliphort players, which isn't really what I want to do. Then we have 3 copies of unnamed card. No, this will be Saqlifice. Again, it's one of these money things where it's going to cost £45 minimum just to get these 3 cards, which seems a lot to me. I would rather spend it on something else, in all honesty. So I'm just going to wait and see if I can trade into 3. Then we play 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, an absolutely brilliant card in the deck. Summon one of your smaller guys, play a Chalice on him, and suddenly he's just unstoppable. It's a brilliant card, and it's almost like having Vela. And then 2 Pot of Duality, because normal summoning is actually a thing that you do in this deck, unlike in most other decks. And for the one-offs, we have 1 Dark Hole, because you have to be able to clear the board every now and again, and Raigeki, again, money. Limit Removal, because this is a machine deck, and I don't see why people aren't playing this. This card is absolutely brilliant. There is no downside to it when they're just going back to the extra deck in the end of the day. It really doesn't matter. And a Laser Clip. Laser Clip is not seen very often. I know a few people are thinking about bringing it back. It is actually really good at it stops the deck from being so linear, because most of the time you're just doing the same plays, but with the Laser Clip in, you can actually have a decent variety, plus, you know, you don't have to worry about Black Horn of Heaven or Solemn Warning or Solemn Scolding or anything like that. Laser Clip is just brilliant, just play it. So that's it for the spell lineup. And the traps. This is what some people might call the OTK variant of the deck. So we play 3 Dust Tornado. Spell and trap removal is absolutely key. Then we have 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Bottomless Hole, bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Trap Stun, 1 Climate Change, because it's like Pot of Avarice for the deck pretty much, 1 Compulse, and triple Skill Drain, which is almost obligatory for the deck. Some people have been swapping this out for Shadow Imprisonings in the main deck. I think they're much better in the side deck myself, because Skill Drain on your own monsters is still a pretty key part of the deck. I was testing out Madolche Knights, and I do think it's really good. The only problem with Madolche Knights is when your opponent goes to play their a Solemn Warning or anything that negates your summons, then that really hurts Madolche Knights and leaves it dead. And I don't like the fact that this can ever be dead. It really kind of annoys me that it can be dead. But apart from that, it's an absolutely brilliant card. If you can't afford to pick up skill drains or anything, I would definitely recommend you testing out Madolche Knights. Just for the fact that it's spell speed 3 and you're negating effects. That's really good against Evil Swarms and stuff where they want to play their Pandemic. It just gets you out of so many bad situations. Is a brilliant card. But yeah, not in the main deck anymore, because now we have the skill drains, which are being lent to me by my wonderful friend Lewis, whose deck profile you probably saw earlier on this channel. There'll be a link for that in one of the corners, so go ahead and check that out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Extra deck, well, I'm not going to bother with doing an extra deck for this video. It's Qliphort, so you know exactly what's going to be in it. It will be generic rank 4s and one of 7s, 6s, and 8s. Not even 8s, just 7s, 6s. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave any comments or suggestions that you have in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see all of you beautiful people in the next video of the new year.